The Russians claim they're avoiding civilian targets. But wherever you turn in this landscape emptied by fear, don't take their word for it.
И это они, блядь, не бомбят дома жилые?
This is Chernihiv, north of the capital, and these are some of the unlucky tower blocks here. At least 22 people died in this airstrike. Closer to Kyiv is the small town of Borodenka. It's hard to see the strategic purpose of ripping a chunk out of a block of flats, except perhaps to terrorize the population and say to the capital Kyiv, this is what awaits you. As night falls, hope fades, for people for whom normality is already a distant memory. On the road out, these are Russian military trucks destroyed by Ukrainians. This war is spreading like a plague across the landscape. It's impossible to know where it'll end, but we do know how it'll continue. This was today's video from the Russian Ministry of Defense, an armored column rolling towards Kyiv with a sense of grim inevitability. It was meant to cow, but it didn't work. This was the scene in the Ukrainian parliament today. A full session with every MP from everywhere in the country was summoned if they could make it. Democracy under attack, but very much at work as an act of tuneful defiance. This is the epic raw material of history unfolding in real time. Defiance also from President Zelenskyy, who made time for a press conference today when he probably wanted to make time for more sleep.
We will sleep 3-4 hours.
I can ask again.
No, just a second, please.
Then he spoke directly to Vladimir Putin.
Что ты хочешь от нас? Уйди с нашей земли. Не хочешь сейчас уйти? Сядь со мной за стол переговоров. Я свободен. Сядь со мной. Только не надо 30 метров, как с Макроном, Шольцем и так далее, как их принимают. Я ж сосед. Меня не надо на 30 метров держать. Я не кусаюсь. Я нормальный мужик. Сядь со мной. Поговори. Чего ты боишься?
There was a second round of talks today, although to call them peace talks would be an exaggeration. Notice the difference, by the way, between the delegations. The Ukrainians dressed for a war they didn't want. The Russians dressed for a day at the office. Men in blue suits versus brothers in arms. Vladimir Putin may be prepared to bomb this country back to the past, but in Lviv, the past has its uses. Here in the city's central park, they're hacking away at the earth in search of shelter. The playground conceals a warren of tunnels that were put here 150 years ago when this city was called Lemberg and run by the Kaiser from Vienna. In this war, the past has an uncanny way of ambushing the present. This is extraordinary. These bunkers here, these shelters, were actually erected by the Austro-Hungarian Empire when they ran the city of Lviv. Then it was called Lemberg. And now they're re-excavating them, cleaning them up, in case this place is also attacked by the Russians.
It's very old construction.
Yuri is one of the citizen excavators of Lviv.
And today we are opening this.
Yuri, what do you do when you're not here? What's your job?
I sell the ski. Yes, I'm a ski instructor.
You're a ski instructor?
When I was a child, I seen this, and it was 30 years ago.
Do you think you'll have to use these?
We hope not.
Preparing for life underground, away from Russian bombs, once a bad joke, now an ugly reality. Well, a short while ago, I spoke to Ukraine's former defense minister, Andrei Zagoronyuk, and I began by asking what he says to those tens of thousands of ordinary Ukrainian citizens who are spending yet another night in their shelters?
Of course, we say to hold on. This is what everybody in the country goes through, unfortunately. And of course, we will fix the country. We will rebuild it. We will make sure that we restore all the buildings and so on. But of course, we cannot return lives. This is terrible, and this is clearly an international criminal court or tribunal has to be taking care of that, because what we've seen is a horrible war crimes. And unfortunately, that will not comfort people who have lost their family members. And this is heartbreaking, of course. But the country needs to stay strong. We don't have any other option.
Andrei, you're a former defense minister. You're a military strategist. What do you think the purpose of hitting civilian tower blocks is for the Russians? What are they trying to achieve with that?
Honestly speaking, this has historically been done in order to break the will for defense. Essentially, what they want to do is they want to break countries' strengths. They want people to panic. They want people to leave. They want obviously whatever is remaining from the economy to suffer terribly, and they want negotiations at their terms.
But you can be excused, can you not, as a Ukrainian, for wanting to just flee the country and run away to Poland or Slovakia or Hungary?
Of course, there are people with kids, there are people with relatives, there are like older people and so on. Some of them cannot run back and forth to the bomb shelters. And many people are not thinking defense-wise, and they just want a peaceful life. So yeah, it's a tragedy of the national scale, and it's actually a tragedy of the global scale, because we're talking about very large amounts of people suffering right now.
Andrei, we saw these very moving pictures today of the parliament, your parliament, meeting in person in Kyiv for the first time in a few weeks. I mean, it was an extraordinary act of defiance, but at the same time, you might say it was quite foolhardy, because you were all in one place.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, they want to show the country that they're not afraid. They want to show that they can still work, and they still can function. So country is not on the knees. Country is existing, and the state is functioning.
So we saw the second round of these peace talks today, and actually it was an extraordinary image of seeing your side, the Ukrainian side, all dressed in battle fatigues and olive green T-shirts, and then the Russian side all looking like bank managers in suits. Do you think that these talks will lead anywhere at all, or are they just a distraction from the brutal military reality on the ground?
We need to keep the door open all the time. So far, we don't see any political resolution from Russia to actually go and start de-escalation. But we have always left the door for the negotiations all the time, because our people, of course, they need to see that if there is any chance at all, we will use it.
So you still think you can win this?
We certainly are not going to fail on the ground. And we certainly are not going to, we're not becoming weaker spiritually from the what happens in the air, and from the air and so on. The people have a 90+%, 94% of people support president right now in what he's doing, and his position and the government's position and the most active society position is very simple. We need to survive by fighting that, because there is no other option.
Andrei Zagoronuk, thank you very much indeed, and good luck to you.